Hello there. How are you?
Good. I'll be back. I have to go let the doggos out.
I get it. The joys of our animals. All right. Is that time? I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, others will join us shortly since I have a really good session planned for us today. But we're going to go ahead and take a nice, comfortable seat, close your eyes, and settle in. Take a big, deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out. Another big, full breath in. And release. Allowing yourself to arrive right here, right now. Nowhere to go, nothing to do but be in this moment. Now tune into your senses, noticing the temperature and texture of air on your skin, becoming aware of any taste that's present in your mouth. Noticing any smells that are coming to you, becoming aware of what you see in your mind's eye, lights, colors, and shapes. Noticing the sounds around you, the sounds inside of the space you're in, and the sounds outside of the space you're in. Acknowledge it all and let it be. And taking a moment to set your intention for our time together today, holding that intention in your mind's eye. And when you're ready, let it go. Then opening your eyes, coming back to this place from wherever it is that you just went, and grab your workbook. And I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to give us 5 minutes to write out all of our personal and professional wins from this past week. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. So just put it all on the page, and I will call us back when it's been 5 minutes. Welcome, Heba. We are just taking our workbook and we are writing out our personal and professional wins from the last week. I'm so happy you're here. And just go ahead and do that, and I'll call us back in 5 minutes. All right. Wrapping up where you are. And we are now going to I'm going to have everybody go around and share with me a highlight since we're such a small group today. Lauren, can I start with you? Can you share a few personal or professional wins from this past week?
Yes. I got some of my bills on auto draft that I have annoyingly been having to go and pay every month for absolutely no reason. And so I got that system going. I uh, am planning a little summer getaway, and I got caught up on some important meetings after being out of town, like a meeting planning a fun ladies trip this fall.
Awesome. Heba, how about you?
Hi, Alicia. I missed you so much.
I've missed you too.
For me, it was having my brother over with his daughter for dinner. One day it was really fun. And I reserved for the seaside just to take me and my mom for like one night, just the beginning, hopefully. So this one I'm looking forward for. And I started a new book called Leaving Time. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle. So it's fun.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Jade,
Thank
how
you.
about you?
Sorry, I missed what the question was because I was dealing with dog.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just sharing a personal or professional win from the last week.
Um, I finally moved my altar from the closet upstairs in my office to the Harry Potter room. So,
Um,
yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. Sarah, I don't know if you can share or not. Okay. Oh, yeah, there we go.
are I am totally blanking right now. Oh, I got really caught up at work, like even stuff that had been on the back burner, which is really nice. And just getting my kids through camps and things like that. So, and B is officially doing her first in-car driving lesson right now. So, very
Oh,
exciting.
awesome. What was the first thing you said? You were going in and out when.
Got really caught up on work. Like I even had things on the back burner and sort of cleared all of those out.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Okay, now take a moment I'm going to give like 2 minutes for you to write down, if you haven't already, your three most important tasks for the week ahead. All right, you can drop it in the chat box, your three most important things for the week ahead. Love seeing your updates. Jade, thank you for sharing those. And if you are able to be on camera, do, but if you can't, I totally understand. I want us to have a conversation today about stress and the importance of kind of getting out of stress, but through a really specific means. So today we're going to be having a conversation around heart coherence, brain coherence, and the importance of those things, as well as heart rate variability. So we're going to be talking about that, and I just want to check in. I want to hear what do you know right now about these things? Do you know anything? Do you not know anything? Little, tiny bit. Okay. And y'all don't have to be off mute. We've got such a small group today. You're welcome to be just we can keep this kind of a flowing conversation. But one thing that was super important for me in the past few months of healing is really like checking in with my nervous system and getting my nervous system out of this flight or fight mode, because if we are in this fight or flight mode, we can't be of service to ourselves or to others. And I really think that in the craziness of the world right now and everything that's happening, it does not behoove us to be in a state of fight, flight, or freeze, or even fawn. I mean, fawn is just as detrimental to our health and those around us, because it's just not our natural state, and it's not necessarily a state of authenticity. And so as I've been on this healing journey, one thing that I've realized is super important to getting our nervous system out of that state is coherence, heart coherence, brain coherence. And so we can get there through a lot of things, but I wanted to explain what it is, and why it's important. So let's start with heart coherence. So heart coherence is a state of physiological harmony in which our heart rate, breathing, and brain waves are synchronized. So it's the heart rhythm, it's when it becomes smooth, ordered, and wave-like, and it creates a cascade of positive effects on the entire nervous system. So we get that. I've got a ton of notes for today. So we get heart coherence. This happens when our emotions are calm, when our nervous system is balanced, and our mind feels clear. It's like all of those systems are communicating in harmony. And there's a number of ways that we can get a heart coherence. So one of the most popular ways to get this type of heart coherence is through a slow rhythmic breathing. So one of the ways that we would do it is you can do it like kind of two ways. So I want to have you experience it. So I'm going to do kind of an experimental breath with you here. So just anchor down into your sit bones, close your eyes, and if it helps, you can put your hand on your heart or your heart center to kind of tune into that space, or you can just have your hands in your heart. But I want you to first just cultivate that like ujjayi breath, in through your nose, out through your nose. Just take a couple cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. And now I want you to rest your awareness in your heart center, and I want you to breathe into a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now breathe in to a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath in. Exhale. Breathe into the heart. Hold the breath in. Relax into the heart. Exhale, release into the body. Breathe into a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now release any control of the breath. Breathe in and out. When you're ready, come back to your body, open your eyes, and come back to this moment. How'd that feel? What do you feel or not feel in your body right now?
Like settled, more at peace.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
I think more space, more calmness.
Mm-hmm. It helps me ground a little bit. I don't know if you guys feel that. Um, But that breathing can help get your body out of fight or flight mode. I will also give you a tip. The holding the breath in part, if that doesn't work for you, you can skip that. So this is something that you can easily do on your, if you feel yourself being activated around something and you just need to take a pause, take a moment, I want you to just like you can breathe into the heart, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slow that exhale down. So you want to double the exhalation, right? So if you breathe into a count of 4, you want to exhale to a count of 8, right? So you're slowing that exhale way, way down. And what that's helping you do is that is helping you get your body out of the fight or flight, getting it out of the freeze, getting it out of the fawn, and just into yourself, like turning back to a relaxed state, relaxed in the body. And what happens is we've got something like 45,000 neurons in the brain or in the heart. And your neurons in the heart send messages, those 40,000 neurons in the heart send messages to the brain. Your heart sends more messages to your brain than your brain does to your heart, right? So, like, we're really, that center, we're really ruled by that area in the body. And so, when we are just really tuning in, we can send, it brings clarity to the mind as well, which is really important. Now, one thing then, as you get practice with this, so for me, I had to really just start with the breathing and the rhythm of the breathing and start calling that in. And then once I got started, got comfortable with the tempo of the breathing, then I could start really tuning into bringing in the idea of like filling up on my inhale with positive emotions, like trying to feel gratitude in my heart center as I'm breathing in, and then relaxing into my body on the exhale, or breathing in compassion into my heart center, and on the exhale, breathing into a relaxed state in my body. So you would want to focus on emotions, that feeling in the body. So it's not just thinking, it's about trying to cultivate that feeling in the body. So appreciation or gratitude is often one that we can easily bring in. Compassion is sometimes a little bit harder to access, and love or deep care. And I don't know about all of you, but I find it so much easier to think about an animal or a child or than I do like people. When I think about love, it's like, oh yeah, my cat. Oh, I'm so happy. Like, oh, he's so great. Like that is so much easier. It's like people get so complicated, right? So if you're having a hard time bringing in that feeling of love or anything like that, think about it like your dog, your cat, your hamster, whatever. You might feel so much more love for that, or your child, so much less complicated than like our significant others or things like that. So just think about that. But even just a focused attention on dropping into the heart and breathing in and out can help bring us into a coherent state. And you kind of know that you've gotten there if you're feeling a little bit more grounded, if you're feeling a little bit more relaxed. If you're not, then you probably haven't gotten that coherence that you're looking for. Um, so also a lot of this comes from the Heart Math Institute. If you guys are familiar with them, they do a ton of research on the heart and how to get into coherence. When you get into a really coherent state, your heart actually sends out into the electromagnetic field around us. It's like people can feel it for like 7 to 8 feet, depending on how strong of a signal you're sending out. So the more coherence you have, the stronger that field you're sending out around you. And so when we are in a very strong, when we are living from a coherent place, that's when, if you run into someone and there's a synchronicity in it, you're really vibing, and they happen to be able to suggest something to you that sparks something else, or they want to collaborate in a certain way, that is happening because of coherence. So coherence really affects that. It is an energy, it's a wave, it's out there. And one of the ways you can think about heart coherence is think of heart coherence like the conductor of your inner symphony, right? And your body is the orchestra, and like the brains, the lungs, the gut, the hormones, the muscles, they're all different instruments, but your heart is the conductor of those instruments because there's so many neurons in that heart center. And when your conductor, when the heart is calm and clear and rhythmic, all of those other instruments, they fall into sync, right? So the music or your life, then it flows more with grace, and it allows more for those synchronicities that we're trying to have. But when the conductor, the heart, is like frenetic, when they are disconnected, those instruments play out of tune, right? And then your thoughts race, your breath shortens, and nothing feels aligned. So this is kind of it's one way to think about that. Now, in addition to heart coherence, there is brain coherence. And brain coherence is the degree to which the different regions of our brain are synchronized and communicating efficiently. So when you're focused, when you're calm, creative, or in a flow state, your brain will exhibit high coherence. And high brain coherence leads to clearer thinking, better memory and learning, enhanced creativity, and reduced anxiety. So bringing coherence into your heart, because we have those 40,000 neurons in the heart and they're sending messages constantly to the brain, will help bring you into a more coherent brain state. Now, when I was talking the past couple weeks about the importance of water and structuring your water, I will also say the analama wand that I had to get while I was on my fast to help structure my water. This brings coherence to your water, right? And studies show that immediately after drinking water with coherence, it helps bring coherence to your brain. And since these things all talk, it will help bring coherence to your heart. But you really need to be doing the breathing and the meditations around the heart, because again, the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain to the heart. So if you're drinking water with coherence and it's bringing that coherence into your brain, that brain signal is not necessarily sending the signal to the heart in the opposite direction. Does that make sense? Okay. And isn't it great that I now have a magic wand? I've been thinking about that and I think it's so wonderful. Okay. So, how do we get the brain coherence the way we get the heart coherence? It's the analama wand. It was in the 5 things email 2 weeks ago, in case you want one. And okay, so we can increase that brain coherence through things like an analama wand, visualization, rhythmic activities like drumming, dancing, chanting, those help bring in coherence as well. And any of those heart coherence practices that I just talked about, they will help send those signals to the brain to bring coherence into your brain. Now, the way the heart is like the conductor of a symphony, I want you to think of your brain like a well-tuned radio receiver. So your brain is a radio receiver that is picking up on frequencies from your body, especially from the heart, receiving all of those neurons to the brain. And when you're in a state of coherence, the signal is really strong and really clear. Like it's much easier for us to tune into that inner wisdom, intuition, and clarity. But when you're stressed and dysregulated, it's like tuning into static, right? So you can get fragments of insights, but it's oftentimes noisy and confusing. And that's when we're like, is it fear or is it intuition, right? Like that's a lot of times what we're experiencing. We don't know which is which, and it's because there's so much static in the channel. Coherence helps us fine-tune that dial so that you can receive the messages that are most important through the radio channel. So essentially, coherence is alignment in the river of the current. Your thoughts, your emotions, and actions are all currents in this river. And when they move in the same direction, your energy is focused and you are powerful. You are in flow. When they are fighting each other, thoughts, it's like they're moving upstream, emotions sideways, the body might feel stuck. The water churns, progress stalls, and you oftentimes feel just exhausted when that happens. And that heart coherence helps us align the current and turn chaos into effort and ease. Any questions about that? No. Okay. It is pretty straightforward stuff, right? Or seemingly straightforward. Straightforward in thought, not as easy in action. I will say that. Okay, and let's talk a little bit about heart rate variability because this kind of comes into the coherence conversation a little bit. It's all connected and can feel a little counterintuitive to the coherence piece of things, but let's just talk about it. So who knows about heart rate variability? How much do we know about this? A little bit. Megan, what do you know? Are you able to talk?
Just that I got introduced to it because of my Aura ring and just that it can relate to like our nervous system and stress.
Yeah,
And
thank
that
you.
there's a number of different factors that can impact our HRV.
Yes, like sleep and stress and water, how much water we've drank and things like that. But it is, and I'm just going to give us a very short tidbit about what it is. But it is the variation between heartbeats. And so, contrary to what many assume, a healthy heart doesn't beat like a metronome. It's not that steady beat. It is actually really dynamic and it adapts to our inner and our outer environment. So, a higher heart rate variability means greater adaptability, resilience, and nervous system health. A lower HRV is associated with stress, burnout, chronic illness, and even early mortality. So to Megan's point, my Aura ring also, it tracks my heart rate variability too. I'm just holding the wand. Like I'm very happy to hold the wand. I need to put the wand back down. So over the past couple, like I'd say year and a half, my Oura ring has been telling me that I have a very low heart rate variability. Well, we know that there's been chronic stress in my body, stress from work, but also stress from illness. So it's been like there are these bio signs that are telling us what's going on when we tune in and listen. And as I have been adding in more meditation, adding in more walking, getting more water, and sleep is such a hard one, but trying to really make that sleep a really sacred, coveted time. My heart rate variability has slowly been going up, but obviously I haven't fully gotten rid of the actual disease that is in the body. So I imagine, I'm very excited to track how much higher my heart rate variability goes up when after the lumpectomy. So, I'll just be really curious. I'll keep you all posted. But it's super interesting to track that we can do with things like an Aura ring. But coherence, what we just talked about, so brain coherence, heart coherence, that actually improves our heart rate variability as well. So when you're in heart coherence, your heart rate variability becomes much more ordered and responsive. And responsive is what we want rather than erratic or flat, like the metronome. And it's like tuning your inner instrument to be more flexible and attuned to all of the messages that are running through us. The metaphor here is, and I was grasping with some of these metaphors, guys, so don't judge me if they're a little cheesy. But I want you to think of your heart rate variability like a dancer's ability to adapt to the rhythm of music, right? So a skilled dancer doesn't move robotically, how you might see me dancing on a dance floor. They are able to adjust their timing, their posture, their movement, their fluidity, responding to every heartbeat, pause, and shift in the music, right? So that's like the healthy HRV. So that higher HRV means your system is graceful and adaptive, able to respond to life's changes with rhythm and elegance. The low HRV is stiff, rigid movement, unable to respond when the beat shifts. Coherence trains you to move with life rather than against it. So these are how these things kind of move and kind of flow together. I want to touch back on like the heart brain communication because I think this is really interesting stuff. And there are literally 40,000 neurons in our heart center. And this area is called our heart brain. And these neurons enable the heart to sense, to feel, to learn, and remember. Your heart actually has its own intelligence, which we might know that intuitively, but it's really fun when science backs that up, right? Okay, neural traffic. The heart sends far more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And it's 90% of the vagus nerve traffic is afferent from body to brain, and a large portion of that is heart to brain. And this is important because it flips the old model of thinking that the brain controls everything. Really, our heart kind of controls everything. The heart profoundly influences our emotions, our emotional processing, decision making, intuition, and cognitive clarity. When your heart is in a state of coherence, it signals the brain to enter a calm, focused, responsive state, reducing stress hormones and promoting creative flow. So you can see how it goes back and forth there. All right, one more cheesy metaphor for you guys around the heart-brain communication. And Jade, you might appreciate this one. The heart is like the storyteller at the campfire. It speaks in emotion, rhythm, and intuition. The brain is the listener, translating the story into plans, language, and logic. And when the storyteller is grounded and connected, the brain leans in, captivated, and the two are in a sacred conversation. But when the heart is agitated or ignored, the brain gets lost in overthinking and disconnected from the truth behind the story. Does that make sense? Okay. Questions?
I have a question which might not be directly related to what you said. So do you think like Joe Dispenza's meditations for heart coherence, like have you tried them and do you think they make a difference for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They make a huge like that. I've been like clinging to Joe Dispenza's heart rate variability meditate or his brain heart coherence meditations. And he's got one that you can stream that's literally 16 minutes. And I've been trying to do it in the morning and in the evening before bed. So a couple times a day. That's a really helpful one. But even his other meditations really do kind of get you into that heart brain coherence because it's everything he's talking about. So even if you're listening to a meditation that's not directly related to heart brain, Joe Dispenza or beyond, if it's something where you're tuning into the heart, it's going to help you with that coherence thing. But I think you can take it a little bit deeper by focusing directly on that connection between the two. But when we do this, it helps us significantly decrease the stress in our body, which helps so many things, right? It helps us accomplish these big dreams and goals that we have and we want to be moving towards. It helps us, it just helps us with so many things. It helps us get clear on what's important. Uh, and I have found that the more I'm stripping away the things that cause me stress in my body, the more grounded I can become in my nervous system. Like that, it sounds so logical, but it's so hard in practice, right? Yeah, so hard in practice. Questions? I saw a lot of you. Yeah, Megan.
I just think that one of the reasons why that it is so hard in practice is because we think there's so many things that we should be doing, and we might compare ourselves to other people who might be doing this level of productivity. And I'm speaking from like my own personal experience and my own journey with stripping away stressful things in my life. And so I think I very much never took into account that like maybe that is okay for them, but it's okay that it's not okay for me to operate at that level and that I'm created differently, and because of that. But I think there's so many things that are normalized culturally that are encourage us to operate at such a high level of productivity and get our value and our worth from that it can easily, like, even if we aren't trying to like keep up with the Joneses, it can just disconnect us from ourselves and what we actually need. Like, because you're just in that, like if everything's moving in the same stream in the same rapid current, you're just trying to do the same and don't even pause to think like, oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't be doing it this way. There is another way that's also okay, you know.
Megan, you know what that I think of the Quaker saying, "Friend speaks my mind." Like, do you all know that? It's like this. So I went to a Quaker college here in Greensboro and Guilford College, and Quakers have this expression, and it's like when the person says exactly what you're feeling and experiencing, it's the expression is "friend speaks my mind," because Quakers are they call each other friends, they're a community of friends. So yeah, friend speaks my mind on that one. And uh, I think getting quiet and taking out all of the things that we kind of think like this is probably not good for me, so why am I doing it? You know, how often do we pause and actually really take an inventory of what those things are and how many of those things are happening in our life? Like, do we really need our email on our phone? Like, really and truly, do we really need to have this in our pocket when we go on a walk? Do we need to have, if we have it in our pocket, like why isn't it on do not disturb? Because even if it's not on do not disturb, that vibration, that ting, that whatever immediately takes us out of the present moment. And all of that, all of those little things all of the time cause fight or flight to kick in, right? And so over the next week or so, I say or so. So next week there's no vision to action. It's the holiday week. We don't have vision to action next week. We'll be back Thursday, July 10th. And we'll be on July 10th, we will be talking, we'll be setting our goals for the new month. But I want us to think about this. I want you to just first, you don't have to make any changes right now, but I want you to think anytime something pops up of like, do I need to be doing this? I want you to make a note of it. Like, do I need to be checking my phone? Does my phone need to be in the bedroom? Does my phone need to be at the table? Does my phone need to, I mean, literally, like right while we were doing our check-in, I saw my phone rang as we were sitting here. And then, of course, you know how it now shows you like the message, I see this is Dr. Wakefield, which is my surgeon for the lumpectomy. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what does he want? Right. And it took me out of the moment. And I was like, this has to go away. Like, this should not be next to me. So that's something like that, right? Even learning real time with all of you, like, this doesn't need to be next to me ever. Those little things. So if you're getting those nudges, I want you to keep a running list and note them. Um, I'm I love teaching my morning yoga class, 6:30 to 7 a.m. on Zoom, Tuesdays and Thursdays for a lot of reasons. But I will tell you what I don't love about it is the way it takes me out of my sleep pattern. Because even though I'm an early riser by nature, what happens is I typically rise at 4 a.m. and then go back to sleep for another hour or so. But on the mornings that I teach yoga, I can't go back to sleep. I don't get that final sleep cycle that my body seems to need and really like. And so it causes me so much stress, and I'm always exhausted on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it is because of that yoga class. So I can keep I've just it's become so paramount, like a spotlight is on top of it right now because of having been away and bringing it back in and realizing, oh, this is a lot. Like, even though it's just two 30-minute classes, it might be too much. And so I'm sitting with, is that something I'm going to take out, or is it something on paper I should keep it because it's a profitable business endeavor? But what is it doing to that brain heart coherence piece for me that is causing dis-ease in the body and additional stress in the body? So I just wanted to give some examples of things that might be going on for you that are causing stress that we might need to sit with. So just over the next couple weeks, and I know that it's the July 4th week coming up. We're on summer break. So for some of us, we might not be feeling as much of the stresses that we normally experience, but start making a note of all of those little things that cause stress. And we don't need to change anything yet. We just want to become aware of it. Deal? Okay. All right. Takeaways from today. Just take a moment to jot down any takeaways. And Lauren, can you share first?
You just kept repeating, and I wrote it down the first time about how your heart sends more signals to your brain than your brain to your heart. So that resonates with me, and I'm thinking more about what that means, metaphorically, not just literally.
Thank you. Heba.
I love the last part that you were saying that the heart is the storyteller and the brain is the listener. This was really interesting one for me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Jade.
Yeah, I want to echo Lauren. I found it very fascinating about the heart sending more messages to the brain.
Yeah, thank you. Sarah.
Same, but also that there are things that we can do to help promote this, or that even sort of like, oh, I am doing some of these things, so sort of focusing on those.
Yeah, thank you. Chandani.
I would say same, and also that I've been looking at the meditations, but I've never tried them. So I'm now curious to try them.
Yeah, do it. They're great. Leslie.
I'm in the same boat about your heart sends more signals to your brain than the reverse. I'm currently in a dilemma on something with our daughter, and it's definitely my heart that's leading me more than my brain. And so it totally makes sense.
Yeah, and the heart is always right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Megan.
What I found particularly interesting about the heart being the storyteller was the part about like what it looks like when the brain's not listening and it like thinking. And so I'm going to be interested to see if that's like an interesting tell for me in the future about that connection. And then I think I'm usually I've grown to a place in my life where I'm regularly trying to scan for like what is unnecessarily stressful, and like where am I like my expectations a little off. But I think like this conversation is a reminder that that's worthy of a little bit more of like a set aside reflection, like maybe like reflection seasonally or something, just thinking about it a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, in closing, I just want to share some quotes from the Heart Math Institute. I have 4 of them. So, the heart is the most powerful source of electromagnetic energy in the human body. When we activate the heart's intelligence, we bring the head and heart into harmonious alignment, increasing our ability to make better choices and access more of our potential. Emotions are reflected in the heart's rhythmic patterns. Negative emotions create chaotic, incoherent patterns, while positive emotions like gratitude and compassion create smooth, ordered waves. And again, they can measure this, right? Because they're measuring it from the electromagnetic field that your heart is sending out. The heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Heart coherence is a state of synchronization between the heart, mind, and emotions, resulting in increased mental clarity, intuition, and emotional balance. Okay, ladies, thank you so much for being here. Again, no class next week. I will see you all on July 10th.